John here. Friday, 15th August 2014. Just recapping on events in Britain, UK and New Zealand, Aotearoa, New Zealand. As far as we're concerned, the Queen has abandoned Westminster Parliament and cleaned out with the H M Treasury the money and all the wealth and taken it, more than likely, into the European Union Parliament. So to all the people who are watching this video, the British people and the Commonwealth, the Queen is now an imposter, a fraudster, and a private corporation person. She's on a contract of her own, and as you can see, she's running a business inside Westminster and stealing all the wealth and putting people into dire situations with their livelihoods at risk. So she's done this for a number of years since she's been the Queen and succeeded to Queen Victoria, and from there to King William IV. So in that line of succession, from Queen Victoria, it was pretty straight from King William. When the Queen Elizabeth got a hold of it, she turned it into corrupted state business in the church. In the church and state, she has run as a racket business under Admiralty law of King William IV. In saying so, she is only a head of state of the Commonwealth and a head trustee of our trust as beneficiaries, we are here in New Zealand, and 1/8 of the British immigrants here settled on our land, our native land, as well as in the Commonwealth countries. The same pattern of offences has happened inside Westminster Parliament, and the Lords have been involved, and David Cameron at the present time fueling this furious fraud operation, business, private companies. That's why no one can challenge them, because they are operating exactly the same way as MOAI Powerhouse Group in London, a new company we're registering there in Brighton with Matt Taylor, and we're hoping that Gordon, Bowden, George Lee and John Patterson will join us as 4 representatives there for the British UK government in Westminster, and us here in New Zealand as a native indigenous partner to Queen Victoria and King William IV, Admiralty. Okay, so those two go together in contract. It was King William III who put the Bank of England Acts together in 1694, and it went around Europe and Britain with the bank and trading. And then in 1830, King William IV, in his 50 years in the Navy in Plymouth, Devon, Port, England, legislated Act of Parliament with the Bank of England to take it international. From there, out this way to the East India and Africa and into the Pacific Islands to us. So he gave us his flag, Confederation flag. You've seen it enough times now, in 1835. So in 1835, we had our own sovereignty recognised by Westminster Parliament. I'm telling a true story, so you know who we are. We've been away for a long time because the government here in New Zealand has been acting on our behalf and running rampant between here and the Queen to use us as their model of democratic governance, of a 3-year temporary government. They do not have title. And in Britain and in England and for people, they have no basis of title or admiralty at all. And Prince Philip is not an admiral as such against MOAI and us with the seal of King William IV. Okay, that authenticates our documents. So all the documents that we send onto Facebook in our Court of Admiralty, the High Court of Admiralty on Facebook, is real. So we are sending sealed documents of King William IV and for Queen Victoria to Gordon, Bowden, George Lee, John Patterson and Matt Taylor. That allows them to do exactly the same as us here in New Zealand. So we are going to seize 61 Cook Street, finally, since 2009 and 2008, 16th of July 2008, when the Queen passed the Lisbon Treaty with Gordon Brown. So from that date, from before that date, we caught her in affidavits before and during and after she offended the people of Britain and us with that treaty. Ireland was against it, but however, they got dragged into it. So now we have Scotland. You'll notice that we have MOAI Powerhouse Group, or MOAI Powerhouse 1, Scotland, in the shares. So that's current at the moment, until we open the account in the company's house in London. Now we're doing that at the present time. As soon as we get that open, that's MOAI Powerhouse Group company. And then MOAI Powerhouse 1, Scotland. MOAI Powerhouse 2, New Zealand. MOAI Powerhouse 3, England. Okay, and so forth, till we get to Zimbabwe, MOAI Powerhouse 250 country, with this flag of Admiralty, court martial law of King William IV, and the trust that Queen Victoria set up between her, Westminster Parliament, Britain, UK, and MOAI, Hapu, native indigenous people in New Zealand. Only flag in the world that allows free passage through the world under King William IV, commercial lien debtors flag, Bank of England, trading partnership in business with you people, you 4 people. We're in business together. Under that company, MOAI Powerhouse Group. Okay, the group consists of 250 countries. So you know, you can start using it as soon as we get it registered, Matt. And John Patterson, I have a proposition for you, because your family, William Patterson, started the Bank of England. We're going to print the pound note. I've just been listening to a video with George. Very good, very good. You can understand everything he's saying. But I see that you can't use your pound note in Scotland. So we'll print off the MOAI pound note here in New Zealand. They can't touch that one, because that's linked straight to King William, the pound note. And so and Queen Victoria. So we'll print that off against the debtor, the levy debtors, Queen Elizabeth and the estate, because although she's taken the money out of H M Treasury, right, she's cleaned it out. That's what George said. She's cleaned it out and cleaned the gold and taken it somewhere. So we are going to bill bill the EU, bill everybody that's linked in as accessories to her fraud. She's not going to get away with this one, not without MOAI finishing off her as the head trustee. So I'll go in as the head trustee of us, the 4 of us out of the 8, to kick this thing off. Okay, I'll write it up today in documents. I'm doing this from here. I'm writing King's orders from the King's Bench to recover, salvage, royal revenue belonging to the King. They made him silent in the Queen's Bench Court. That's why we don't go into the Queen's Bench Court. We go into the King's Bench Court in Plymouth. When I get there, go straight to Plymouth, set up the court over there, walk straight into the court there, and say this is King William's court and King's Bench. Walk in there and seize the place. Okay, we're going to seize this land title, 61 Cook Street in Auckland. Once we do that, you'll be doing the same thing in England. So you better pick one block of land there that you're going to seize at the same time next week. Okay, Matt, George, Gordon, and John. That's for you to figure out. We've already got underway here, but model it out, because that's what the Queen's been doing, modelling us out and modelling everybody out in the Commonwealth for her own private business. We're going into private business, folks, to do exactly the same thing to the corporations. We're going to put them on notice against the levy debtors on that whole figure, 970 million trillion pound notes, bullion, bulk, gold. Okay? No matter what the gold is, we're going to individually bill each one of them. Right? Doesn't matter. They're all linked to the Queen. Right? Everything she's touched is poison. Right? Including the Vatican, the churches, the popes, the bishops, the lot of you. And including the police over here, have to acknowledge what we are doing here, straight into Westminster Parliament. Okay? So I'll just rattle off some of the things I've told my crew. Basically, our plan, that I've got to type this all up. So I'm going to rattle through it, so you know, the whole world knows everything about MOAI. Okay? So we've got the, I'll start from here. We've got the 4 of you there to consider. As soon as you get a letter from me. This group will have the authority to carry out King's orders, King's Bench warrants, collect the King's royal revenue using the King William IV Admiralty jurisdiction and flag seal, put notice to Hammond and Cameron, and also here in New Zealand, the Governor-General Jerry Mataparai Andrews, and John Key, the Prime Minister, and also to the Queen. The notice will be going to you from us 8. The 8-point star on our flag is 1/8 being British under Queen Victoria Trust, and us in the Pacific Islands 7/8. Okay, so that's the ratio of the claim against the whole entire estate of the Queen and everything linked to it, and everything they've shared, the money they've spent on the wars, the military, everything to protect their business. The business is fraud. You can see that. All that money will recover from those countries that have linked themselves, even the United Nations. Everyone who's taken money from H M Treasury will be audited. Right? We're ordering an audit of accounts and settlement. Call up the account. Gordon and George, call up the account. And John Patterson, get the printer ready to print off the MOAI pound note. Okay, we'll have a pattern for it, because I don't think we can use your pound note. If we can, you better check on it. We'll print the British pound note and start using it against them. Okay, got a legal right to do it, because they owe us for the crime in their court law before the Queen abdicates. We get her while she's still a queen and appears to be looking like one. Right? She hasn't gone yet, so we're going to trap her right from today. Right? Seize everything. Freeze everything. George? Freeze the account of the H M Treasury and the Bank of England. Okay? And everything where the money's gone, collected by the Bank of England, the BNZ Bank here in New Zealand, and the BNZ Bank in London, the Akaroa Bank, which is our bank, that Queen Elizabeth's got, and every account that she's got, seize it. That's what I'm saying. I'll write it up that way, okay? There's nothing they can do about it now. They are helpless to prove anything. They shut their mouths and say nothing, just like Cameron and Hammond are saying nothing. Yet Hammond answered a letter to someone who complained about Gaza. That was quick. So we use that as a template for Hammond to answer the same letter to us that's more important than that letter to Gaza. This is crucial Commonwealth stuff we're talking about here. Okay, we'll go on. We bill each one individually, 3 days notice, 72 hours from when you receive the letter. We'll take action. A notice to reply or email in writing to you 4 people in London. Our business is to run MOAI Powerhouse Group, issue orders on behalf of the MOAI Powerhouse Group. Okay, so we'll be acting as the group. You will be in London acting under that group. Okay, the MOAI is in all the most powerful countries in the world. You'll see him standing there, the real ones. There's one in London. That's our memorial. We use that as our title to the land. Right? That's what he means. Mana whenua. Okay? He's stuck to the land, and he owns the land in God's face. God's law. That's God's law. L-O-R-E. So we're acting in man's law. L-A-W with these warrants and the Admiralty court-martial law. Okay? You've got authority from me, right, as King William. Commercial trading, bank, lien, mortgage, levy, partner. Okay? You got that? Okay. Now, John Patterson, your ancestors, William Patterson, the Bank of England. Okay? If they don't reply in 72 hours, then we shall enforce the orders to serve on the estate of Queen Elizabeth and our Moai Crown Hapu Queen Victoria King William IV Admiralty Trust Fund, the Gold Trust Fund that Karen Hudes is trying to flog for the World Bank and for the humanity. No, this is for us, the partners in business. This is what belongs to us and the people we decide as the contractor. Okay? We don't, they're fourth party. She's a fourth party. So she has no business in this private business contract. Okay? Nobody has any business between us and Queen Victoria. Like I said, the Queen is only a head trust. Right? She's fraud, she goes. We sack her. You people sack her. I'll give you the order to sack her. By the time I get there with Jamie, we can go straight into Westminster Parliament, clean the lot out. Okay? Clean the lot out and start again. There will be the order to Parliament to force David Cameron. We will order the Parliament to force David Cameron to comply with the King's orders of his legal commercial lien trading bank business partners, as trading bank business partners is what I'm trying to say. So his ancestor is King William IV, and he's not honouring him. And if they're using King William IV seal,